Alright friends, welcome back to another video on building multipurpose Laravel 9 and Vue 3 application. And in this video, we'll be working on adding source functionality. So first of all, let me give you the final demo of what we're going to build throughout this video so that you'll have some idea. So here we have this source input, and if I type David, and we get the result with the name called David, right? But if we search for something that doesn't exist, then we are getting no results found. And we can clear this input, and finally we get all those results. So we'll be building this exact thing throughout this video. So without further delay, let's get started. Now first of all, we need to add source input over here, right? So let me go to code editor and let me go to the file called user list, and we have that button called add new user, and after this we'll be creating the div with the input type text, class goes from control, and we get that input. But let's wrap this inside of one single div, and then we can add a class called flex, display of flex, and we get this output. After this, we can add another class called justify content between, and we get this input over here, right, which is perfect. So let's add a placeholder text, say source, and this is fine. And for now, let's add a button over here. Later we can remove this button called submit. Okay, and this is fine for now, and later we'll remove this. Now let's define the constant called source query. So let me go over here and let me define the constant called source query, and by default it will be null. Okay, and then let's add a method called source. Let's add an arrow function, and then inside this we'll be sending the axios request. So for now, let's do axios.get API/user source, and we'll be passing the parameters called query, and we'll get that query value from source query.value. Okay, and after we send the get request, we'll receive the response, and from that response we'll assign users.value to response data. And if we got any error, then we will catch those error. And for now, let's do console.log those error. So now let me go to that button called submit, and over here we can listen for that click event and call the method called source. Okay, and we need to add vmodel over here, vmodel source query, and we haven't defined that endpoint called API/user source. So let me go to web.php file, and over here let's create that endpoint called get/API/users and then source. And for now, let's use that same controller, but we will be extracting those later. So for now, let's go to user controller and call the method called source. Let me go over here and let me go to the end, public function source, and inside this we get the source query from the request called query. And for now, let's dump source query. Now let's try this on the browser. So let me open up the console as well. Let me go to network tab and let me type something and click on submit. And here we are getting 500 error. So if we view the response preview, then we are getting that input text, right? So this is working. So here, instead of die and dump, let's write the actual code. So users call user where name like and we'll get that from source query, and finally we'll got the get method, and finally we'll return response JSON that users. Okay, so now let me try this. Let me search for David and then click on submit, and I get that result, which is perfect. And if I search for something that doesn't exist and then if I submit, then we are not getting anything. So instead of displaying empty, let's display the message called no results found over here. So let me go to user list. Let me scroll a bit, and over here we can add a conditional if we have the users that length is greater than 0, then we'll show this, otherwise v else table row table data and then call span of 6, and then we'll display the message called no results found. Now let me try this, and we are getting no results found. And let's add a class called text center, and this is perfect. Let me search for David, submit, and we get that result. If I remove everything and then hit submit, then we'll get every results, right? So now let's remove this submit button from here, and let's make this workable when some users start typing, and it will do the automatic search, right? So let's do that part. So first of all, let me remove that button from here, and then let me go over here. So to make this workable, we can watch for the changes on this search query constant, right? So let's do that part. We can use watch, and this will come from Vue. So here we have, let me scroll it, and we'll be watching the changes on search query, and as a second argument, let's pass the anonymous function, and inside this we'll be calling the method called search. So now let me try this. Let me search for David, and this is automatic, right? Which is perfect. Let me search for something that doesn't exist, then we are getting no results found. If I search for David, and we are getting that result, which is perfect. Finally, let me show you one thing. So let me open up the console. Let me go to network tab, and if I search for something like David, and here while performing this search, we are sending lots of requests to the server, right? We are sending requests on every keystroke. So here we are sending one request for D, DA again, DAV, DAVI, and DAVID, right? And to prevent sending lots of requests to the server on every keystroke, we can use Debounce from Lodash library. So let me show you how we can use that. So here inside of this was function, we can add Debounce, and then let me add that. And on Debounce function, we need to pass second argument, which is the time and millisecond, and we need to import this as well. So let me go to the tab, import Debounce from Lodash. Okay, now let me try this. Let me refresh, and let me go to the network tab. Let me clear this, and now if I search for same thing like David, then we are just sending single request, right? Which is perfect. The purpose of adding Debounce is that it will wait for 300 milliseconds. So if I remove this, and then it is sending another request, but if I remove this instantly, then it will just send single request, which is perfect. So this much for this video. I hope you learned something from this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel, as I will be uploading the videos like this. So till then, have a great time, and I will see you on the next one.